Hi everyone, welcome to MaryAnne's Mystic Mentions and welcome to my daily sun sign love connections. This is part 2 of my video from the Sun Sign Love Connections series, and what's happened is I'm having technical difficulties. However, I was able to upload half of it, and what it was started on yesterday, which was November 12th, and I did get through the featured sun sign, which was Cancer, and the highlighted connection messages, which was with Libra, and then it cut off, much to my surprise. So just so you know right away, I'm going to be getting up during the video, because I'm not great at editing, to make sure it's actually running. I have talked for 50 plus minutes, finished feeling amazing, and then get up and realize that it had not been videotaped at all. Excuse my verbiage. So anyway, we left off on Leo. This I know, I looked it up. And so I'm going to go full tilt with that. And I definitely want to bring that back up, or the next one, because I remember what it was. We're staying on what it was, and please have no fear that when you watch this is appropriate. And you may end up watching it on November 12th, but it's all good. You know, energies are flowing and they continue to flow. Sometimes you'll feel it that day, but maybe you'll feel it more today. That would be my wish for you. So as I said, I ended with Leo in the sense I was explaining that with the two sun signs of Cancer and Leo, this is always a very, very magnetic and attracting kind of connection. Now, you've got water and fire. You've got the passion that comes within it. You know, that sizzling, kind of bubbling, steamy relationship that can come. It could be good or not, right? And Leo is, of course, the passionate, fiery energy that is extremely proud and extremely filled with vitality, ruled by the sun, right? The sun signs are, you know, that first house, the ego, what we want, how we want to be received, how seen, how we want to be perceived. That was both words at once. You know, there's talent, there's need for recognition with Leo, there's pride and dignity, and they want to be thought in a good light. They want to be seen in a good light. They care greatly about those that they love. I mean, you become their one and only. You're a center stage with Leos. And that's a beautiful thing for Cancers. You know you love that. Now, Cancers have a way of just like really touching the heart of Leos. They have that sensitivity. And a lot of times when you're pulled together with an oppositional sign or element like that, it's because in your chart you may have one of the others, you know, elements in there, and that actually helps to create much more of a bond and an understanding. But even if that's not the case, there's still this amazing attraction. You can see it over and over again, you know, celebrity couples, all sorts of, you know, ways to look this up and realize it, and I have in my lifetime. So let's read the card that I got for the two of you, and that was the Two of Swords. And I really think this makes perfect sense. First of all, we have Venus in Libra right now, which will happen through the 21st, and then we go into a whole new season, which will be, then it'll go into Scorpio. We're in Scorpio season now, and it'll become Sagittarius season on the 21st of November. But basically what we're seeing here is a crossroads and ideas. Two possible options. Communication is key in this sense. You both need to talk really carefully about what you want to decide to do, and you're not necessarily feeling rushed. You may have influences around you that are Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. And maybe you're just feeling you need to balance some things out because of the equilibrium aspect of Libra, which once again I said Venus is in. And Venus is about love and passion and fun and magical feelings, you know, and money and beauty and all the things that matter in love and relationships of all kinds. Well, the blindfold represents really kind of sitting with your intuitive knowledge, which will then guide you to make the proper choice and correct decision for the two of you. I see it as a positive thing and not really wanting to push forward, because that's important. We have had retrograde Mars, which is a fire sign, in Aries, and that's affecting you, Leo, and it's affected all fire signs particularly. But guess what? Today being the 13th, I guess, if this is when you're watching it, everything goes forward. I mean, Mars stations direct today. Now, mind you, nothing changes instantly when everything goes direct or things start to move direct. It takes some time. It's been in retrograde for 2 months. So just knowing the talking and the feeling and the discussing right now is really important before you push forward, but it feels good. I'm going to run out of time again, aren't I? I better speed this up a bit. Okay, then the next category you had was Cancer and Gemini. Now, this is beautiful. They're right next to each other. I see this combination more often than not. Air and water. Gemini is really fun. You know, they're very, very analytical. They're ruled by Mercury, so they're very much in the mind and commerce and business and connecting and socializing. And you really dig that too, Cancer. You have a very shrewd and keen way of establishing yourself, providing for your family. You know, you're very good when it comes to money management. You can be conservative, and that's because you want to keep that security there, and you're smart, you know, when it comes to that. And the two of you can work really well together. You can just have a darn really good, fun relationship. Now, remember, the air elements have this notable aspect to them, or personality trait, where they can be a little detached because they're in their mind. They're very thinking, thoughts, words. How do I communicate? You know, seeing all sides, wanting to strategize their thoughts. It's the head up. It's that masculine kind of energy. Just the opposite with water, right? Water is all about feeling, all about the heart, all about emotions, the feminine, the receptive. We all have each in us, right? But it still works, you know, because, I don't know, I just love the expressive aspect of Gemini. They're great at teaching, and knowledge is really important to them, and sharing with others whatever they can to help them benefit others. And you know, that's a really beautiful trait, and the two of you just work through things. If you're sensitive because you feel you're not being heard, Cancer, please don't, because that's the last thing that a Gemini wants to do, is hurt you in that way. And they may forget your birthday, and they forget things. They're always, minds are constantly going, but it's not personal, and they have deep love, and they want to be fair, and they want to be caring, and they love people that they love dearly. They want you in their life for a lifetime. So let's see what your message was. The Tower, that's right. Well, the Tower is usually ominous for a lot of people, but here's the important message through this card, okay? I think it's the past. I think we've all experienced a Tower year. But if you notice in this card, you have the foundation still very much intact. And in order to build anything, like a house or whatever, though I'm not a contractor or a carpenter that I know of, you have to have that solid foundation, right? In a relationship, in your job, in anything you do. And a lot of times, the top, you know, the things around, or the very ceiling of it tends to just kind of come and wobble and fall apart, as in relationships, as in, you know, jobs, as in this year where we had something so solid, you know, where we believed it was going to be a lifetime venture. Changed, right? Just like that sometimes. I believe this is the card that represents the planet and of Uranus, which is exactly that. It's all about unexpected interruptions and changes and surprises out of the blue. That's what you're seeing here, but always knowing that if things are falling down and apart, and they do, unless you want it to happen, if you're not, and you didn't instrumentally make that happen for yourself because you've envisioned and felt something was coming up, which I wouldn't be surprised about with you, Cancer, the universe will do it for you. And it doesn't have to be horrific, but it can shake you up. So that's the thing I see in this. But the epiphanies, the transformations, the beautiful things that come from this can change your life forever in such amazing ways. So prepare and know that I think this has happened already. And the two of you are building even stronger of a connection, relationship, partnership, whatever it is. Then we go to Taurus and Cancer, and I love it. There you have the beautiful elements of water and earth. As I always say, I find them extremely complementary, very, very different, you know, oppositional in a lot of ways, but that's what attracts people many times. And you've got the stationary, strong bull, you know, symbolically the bull, Taurus is a bull, fixed sign that is very determined and kind of set in their ways and opinions, not really easy or wanting to move quickly or change their mind. That can be a little tough, but they will. It just takes longer than other signs. There's great love and depth to them. They love being practical and reliable and loyal, and they are steadfast, and they will continue to do their job and work hard and toil away until they see the benefits of their hard work, which they always generally do. They are ruled by Venus. So, you know, Venus is about money and luxury and all the senses. And believe me, Tauruses that I've known, they love everything. Good food, wine, touch, you know, intimacy, passion. And as an earth sign, it's not necessarily hidden by any means, but it's definitely, I would say, more reserved. But trust me when I say it's in there. And it's a long-term kind of love. They're not fly-by-night kind of relationships. That's perfect for Cancers. They want that stability. And, you know, it just works. It's beautiful. You got the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is really very understandable. For one thing, the Cups is the water sign like you are, Cancer and Pisces and Scorpio. And really, it's about looking ahead. This year has brought a lot of setbacks, a lot of losses, a lot of emotional struggles, challenges, you know, just very heart-centered kind of feelings. And I see that the two of you in the Taurus Cancer connection want to look ahead. You're never going to forget, especially Cancer. I got to be honest, they're very sentimental, but they just remember pretty much everything. Keep that in your notes, okay, everybody? That's important, but I think it can be a virtue, as long as it's not a hard emotional feeling that they're not able to release or forgive. As well as Taurus, they can be stubborn and remember and maybe hold a grudge. I'm sorry, I said it, but you know, it just happens that way sometimes. Where love prevails, all things can heal. Anyway, you're looking forward, and there's a big, big, big full moon, so I'm thinking there's a new moon on the 14th, 15th, which is just tomorrow, the next day. And then also you have the first eclipse in Gemini, which is so transformational. It brings things in very quickly. It changes your life in a heartbeat for the better, hopefully, right? It makes things just perk up and move, and things moving forward now. You're feeling really empowered about this, okay? And that's the direction you want to take and the feelings you want to keep with each other. Then you have the Aries and Cancer. Well, Aries has been through, like I said, the retrograde for 2 months, and then we've had Mars, which is their ruling planet, yes, but it's a very aggressive and kind of, sometimes I think it happens anyway with Aries. I'm going to be honest, they're very fiery and they kind of just speak really quickly, and sometimes they regret what they may have said. They don't want to hurt anybody, but they're just real and raw. And, you know, they're the leaders, and they're the first sign, and they're the first season, and they just want to be, you know, heard, and they want to be direct and you know, very authentic in a lot of ways, and childish almost, you know. So they've been in retrograde, their signs, so it's going direct now. So prepare yourself for slow but definitely clear paths, you know, things working themselves out way better now. And then we had the Mercury retrograde, so all of that was in the mix. Things are going to be good for the two of you. But you did have the Eight of Swords, so this is self-inflicted and imposed fears and worries, concerns. Now, I don't know about you particularly, this is a general reading, but I feel like water and definitely air, which is what this is, the swords of the air, they're the mind, they're the thoughts and the words, you know, and the loops that go around in the mind constantly with things we don't actually know the answers to, but that's what fear is. It's projecting things and worrying about things we don't even know will exist. We all do it though, right? So to kind of really put a damper on that and just nip that in the bud, because all of that needs to stop, you know, and in order to be happier and to really thrive in your connections and everything, it's time. Right? We all want that. We want that change, and I feel very strongly that'll happen, not to mention that the Gemini eclipse happening at the end of the month on the 28th, or the 30th, excuse me, is an air sign. So take deep breaths and realize some really important, vital information for all of us is coming through, and for your relationship. You know, thoughts are very fleeting, and these feelings are very, very quick and passing versus, you know, the elements that are earth perhaps, and even maybe fire, but definitely air. It's a quick passing energy. So then we have Pisces and Cancer, and you know, one of my favorites, because you're both the same element, so you have this real, just genuine understanding and resonance with each other. just a real synergy, just this deep emotional sensitivity, psychic, prophetic kind of energy. I mean, to me, Pisces is the 12th sign, so they recognize a little bit about each sign, you know, and they've had what they're known as many lives, you know, that lead them to have this just understanding and knowing about life, the life and death, regeneration, redoing, you know, reinventing, all is kind of natural and understood by Pisces. They're so incredibly caring and selfless, and they want to do whatever they can for you, almost to a fault. You know, as with, I think, a lot of times Cancers, they're impressionable, and they take on people's energy and pain and sorrow, and it can be a lot. So the two of you get that, and you really help each other. Water is fluid. It can go anywhere, you know, and it needs to just be able to do that. I feel there's this flowy kind of energy and creativity that comes with Pisces, and it's really beautiful for the two of you to work together with. Creating is huge. And you have death. Also, Pisces is a mutable sign ruled by Neptune. Neptune is also going, that's what's going forward and stationing direct after a long time. The outer planet, yes, but definitely affecting all of us, and especially Pisces being their ruling planet in the more modern time. Neptune is the deep underworld, you know, the king of the underworld. He's the epitome of fantasy and imagination and obscurity and cloudy kind of vague understanding, you know, not really knowing what's real and what isn't. It's very, very concerning at times, you know. You don't know if you're dreaming it or if it actually really happened, sort of feeling. And with that going direct, oh my gosh, it's going to open up so much for Piscean, which will then help this relationship. And the death will occur. The death of things that didn't matter are absolutely not wanted anymore. I don't look at it as a figuratively, I look at it more metaphorically. Death of ideas and things and friends and interests or situations that, you know, were holding us back, kind of thing. That's really what comes to the forefront. So a whole new, beautiful emotional change. And here's that emotion again, you know. Your mind feels freer. You feel like you're setting off on the right direction together. And I love that. And then you have Aquarius and Cancer. This is a common connection, and I understand it in a lot of ways, but it is that difference, you know, in the way they operate, the way they see the world. You know, you've got the air of Aquarius, which is the mind, right? And everything is done through their thoughts and their expression, and they are extremely motivated to learn and study and teach and to share that with others. And in the case of Aquarius, it's always changing the world. They're the humanitarian sign, the water barrier. So they understand the sensitivities. They're extremely emotional, but people don't see that. They're very detached. They have way too much to think about and way too many people to be concerned about and to lead and to, you know, establish great changes in this world. So there's that detachment aspect, like I always say, and then you've got that real sensitivity of the heart and the need for conversation and to be heard and to feel like you're being, you know, paid attention to a lot of times. You know, there's that possessive part of water signs and Cancer. They've got those claws as a crab. They want to hold on, you know. You have to be careful because Aquarius wants all that as well, but they have this independent side that they are going to stick with. They have the freedom-seeking aspect to do what they need to do within a relationship, okay? And as long as that's allowed and you both work that out, it's a beautiful, beautiful resonance. And they are ruled by Uranus, so that's all about change. And by the way, everything's changing into Aquarius, and it's going to be the age of Aquarius, if you will, coming up this 2021. So things can be beautiful, and changing the elements is always an important thing. And it changes our perspective in life and how things work in general, government or otherwise. I think we're all seeing that happening. So yeah, death and a beautiful thing. But you got the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands to me is always more external than internal, but in all reality, it's about fiery and passion and discussions and, you know, debates and, you know, seeking truth and, you know, showing emotion through the way that you interact and, you know, motivated, you know, things that are actually happening in real life right now. So, you know, you can take on only so much of that before it'll actually wear down your energy, you know, and we don't necessarily want that, right? And I'm not preaching, I'm just saying, which I think a lot of you understand anyway, just take things like that and take the controversial aspect and the energy of just aggression that can be very overwhelming. Things said you don't mean to say, things heard that you don't feel comfortable having heard, gossip, whatever it is, remove yourself as much as possible. Focus on your connection and the strength that you have, the empowerment to see a better world and be that change, right? And then you have the beautiful Capricorn Cancer, which is absolute polar opposites. But it works really, really well. I'm going to get up right now before I say anything more and see if this is actually videotaping. Oh my gosh, I am such a happy camper right now. Then I get to do the actual next featured for, you know, what will that be? That will be Leo after Cancer. So thank you so much again for your patience. So then we go on to, yes, the polar opposites of Capricorn and Cancer. And it just is a beautiful, harmonious relationship that is absolutely so incredibly different in so many ways and so attractive. Now, Capricorn is absolutely one of the most diligent, hardworking, once again, earth sign, steadfast, ruled by Saturn, mind you, okay? So their whole focus and restricted kind of energy they're used to, where they're just eye on the prize and they are going to work and they're going to work hard and then they're going to work even harder. Their aspirations are always to, in conjunction with being a cardinal sign, which is an initiator, right? And they are doers and movers and shakers, initiating the season of winter we're about to approach. Is pretty unmatchable, and they want leadership and accomplishment, and you know, they want to have great success and they want to be the best in their field. You know, they want to see everything from this level going up and up and up, like a goat reaching the highest mountain, which you see many times. It's not an obstacle for them, it's an opportunity. And so yeah, they're a mutable sign. They want to take care of you. They want to be secure. They can be a little solemn and a little bit reserved, you know, and that's okay. You're okay with that, because when you know an earth sign, you can see their sense of humor, which is very widely misunderstood and not even recognized. You know, they're not the life of the party, but when you're talking to them on the side, you can have a good old time. There's deep passion in there, whether you see it or not. This is a beautiful sign, and guess what you got? You got the Ace of Wands, man. This is passion personified. This is known as the almost sexual card, you know what I mean? Fire, passion, burning. You know, it's kind of looking like a little bit of a phallic symbol in a lot of ways, but basically Ace of Wands, you know, starting something new, starting a new tradition, starting a new life together, starting a family, whatever it is, a job, you know, a partnership, whatever that may be. The connection is strong. You're feeling really ambitious about it, and you're working together. And that's the main thing about all of my readings, is being in a connection that is happy and uplifting and encouraging, and knowing the difference, you know, and not feeling like you ever need to be in a relationship because you don't want to be alone, you know. But that's another story. Anyway, so then we go on to Cancer and Sagittarius. So this is interesting because, first of all, I did get a comment from a wonderful viewer, and thank you for that. Thank you for interacting with me. It's one of my most important requests from you. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so that you can comment, so you can like, so you can support me and keep this channel going by hook or by crook, right? Because I'm going to make it happen. I'm not, you know, I'm learning slowly but surely, and every time something does go wrong, I've learned something, right? But they requested me to read, asked if I could read for Cancer and Sagittarius, and I had, you know, the video had stopped. So yes, Cancer and Sagittarius, very commonly seen together and very, very different once again. But this attraction is unmistakable. And I am going to bring a little family, you know, personal issue. And I have a son that's a Sagittarius. And so many times in the many relationships he had, and it's not because he was a player, but, you know, he's a very sociable guy. He loves many people. He's a Sagittarius. They are very sociable. They're mutable. They like all sorts of circumstances. They like to change and move. They're constantly, you know, interested in adventure and something to do to inspire them, and they shoot that arrow, right? And they have this incredible focus, and they're very interested in higher learning. things and topics that, you know, are kind of obscure is fascinating to them. Astrology, religion, whatever, they're excellent at it. Law, a lot of times, my son. And he was always, many times I noticed, because I'm interested in what I do, right? And all the connections of love and astrology affiliations. And a lot of those relationships are Cancers or water signs. Well, he does have a Cancer rising, which is your ascendant, and that's that planet exactly across from your sun sign, the moment you're born, the exact time, which is a very pertinent information. And so that's happening. You're definitely going to be attracted, but even more so, it's just this beautiful tension that happens in passion with water and fire. And my gosh, they're so attractive because they have great energy and they're optimistic and they're adventurous, like I said, and they love to travel and they love to be funny and have friends and be sociable and be happy. And they don't hold on to grudges. You know, sometimes that sensitivity, once again, of Cancer is going to be a little put off sometimes, because if you ask a Sagittarius or other fire signs a question, they're going to be completely bluntly honest with you. So I like it, but it's not for the meek, okay? And you know, it's just, they never want to hurt you. They're being real, right? So I like this a lot. And yeah, just letting them have, once again, their independence within the relationship is very important. And trusting, because they need to have you trust them as much as you need to trust them. So what you got was the Empress. That's the epitome of love. That is the mother Gaia of the world. That is so important when creating and establishing something and starting new and seeing it through to the end. And it also represents a mother who's pregnant. So, you know, the ultimate love, right? Children, discussing children. I mean, actually a commitment, which is, you know, Sagittarius make them, but it's always a friend-based situation first, which is, I think, imperative for that foundation we spoke of. Friendships can last forever. You know, heated in the moment, things are great, don't get me wrong, but they're not necessarily based on a long-term thing. So the friendship is going to be there, and then that grows and it gets stronger and, you know, more permanent. But at the same time, I feel very strongly either you, this connection, or experiencing, thinking about children, you know, somebody right near you in your family perhaps, but it's something about some kind of just beautiful creation is happening, you know, whether it be a relationship and establishment of that, or maybe a new job, like I said, an entrepreneurial situation, which I think would be really beautiful for the two of you. It feels beautiful. It's wonderful. There's no limits as to what you two can create. And then we go on to Scorpio and Cancer, and let's face it, this is like top 10 of the relationships. It's passionate, it's amazing, it's the same element, it's deeply felt, it's deeply emotional. I don't think there's anything frivolous about this in any way. Now, you're both water, of course. Scorpio, we're in Scorpio season. Happy birthday, Scorpios. And then the new moon is in Scorpio. So if you need and want to know about transformation, it's happening here, folks. Ruled by Pluto. Pluto was exact on, what, the 12th? Yesterday, with Jupiter. And that's happened 3 times this year. And it's one of the most powerful configurations you will ever have in your lifetime that you've just experienced. And even if you don't feel it now, something happened yesterday and you're going to see it in the future. And it's about that positivity that we need to have of ourselves and going deep inside and being strong and truthful with ourselves. What do we want to do and how do we want to pursue that? Because it's not going to happen by only intention. It's going to happen because we put one foot in front of the other. We work hard, we're devoted, we're focused, and we really feel that it will happen. That's a huge part of law of attraction. And then also, they're a fixed sign, you know. Scorpios are very much, I would say, black and white. I'm not going to mince words about it. You know, they either like you or they don't. They agree with you or they don't. You know, they're very intense. The spectrum of intensity can be varied with Scorpios. I've met some that are way lighthearted and some that are, you feel their energy a mile away and you're like, whoa, not in a good mood, gotta go. But real, once again, you know, very real, extremely loyal, deeply loving, You know, they love intimacy because they realize that's how they can really get to know somebody. They have this connotation of being promiscuous and very sexual sign, and we're all sexual, but the reality is Scorpios require that intimacy for knowing and understanding without speaking, you know, the good kind of communication. This is great. I love it. And you both got the Knight of Cups. So it is about love. It's about getting that message and bringing it forth. You know, if you're not saying it to each other, someone's going to make it clear at some point real soon here, probably the new moon moving forward, certainly by the eclipse. And they last 6 months to a year, the effects. That something really important and powerful needs to be said, because there's great love here and there's great admiration and respect, which is super important in a relationship. Oh my gosh, I actually did. I got through this. I'm so excited, but I'm not quite done. This is an addiction. I need to make this clear as I'm moving on and almost finishing. Anything you do every day, which not every YouTuber does, but I do them every day, and I have had, I think, 5 days now out of a year and 3 months where I was not able to do them. Might be on 6 now. Oh, but listen, addictions are addictions, good or not, and I think this is a beautiful one because it makes me happy, and I'm hoping it makes others happy in the process. I find that to be a good one, but addiction is an addiction, so when it doesn't happen, I feel a sadness, and I have to watch that because that's not okay, I mean, the attachment aspect in my life has been very prevalent anyway, and things just happen. I'm learning this more than ever. I have to let go, but I will be back and I will pursue it, and I do have a very determined, stubborn side to me because I want to bring love and encouragement to people. That is part of my purpose on this planet, and I love this format for that, even when I have a little bit of challenges with it. So the next category is going to be for everybody in conjunction with Cancer, where your message is the Psychic Tarot of the Heart. And the reality is, and I just already put it in the middle because I was talking, it was the 4th chakra. It was actually the heart. I mean, it was just absolutely perfect, as they have been. They've been very synchronistic. Spirit works really well with me. My intuition has been pretty spot on, and I'm super grateful for that. I am going to find this for you. I think I stuck it right in the middle. Is it the one that's upside down? No. Clarity of belief. I take it back. I am absolutely wrong about that. This is the absolute one. It was upside down. Clarity of belief, which is number 1, which is absolutely transformational, which is what predominantly has been the messages for Cancer in all of the connections, including your highlighted one of Libra. And I'm going to read to you what it says, but more importantly, I want to show you this beautiful butterfly that represents transformation as one of the main themes. And, the metamorphosis is already occurring and transforming you as we speak, and has this whole year. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be like, wow, I wouldn't have thought that would be the outcome. And I think you're going to be really grateful for it, which is huge. It's important to have the attitude of gratitude. But the message within for all of those beautiful Cancers is manifest. This is a time of great power for you. The Manifest card is here to tell you that anything is possible. You have all the tools at your disposal to create whatever you desire. You have a variety of tools that can help be put to good use. The ability to love unconditionally, to support, to cherish, to listen, to understand, to forget, to be kind, to be joyful, and even to be silly. All of these are useful tools in managing affairs of the heart. Take some time to determine what your best tools are so that you can use them to work your own unique brand of magic around relationships. And you absolutely have that, Cancer. You're kind of, almost shy, and, you don't need to be in the limelight, but boy, you have all those tools. You can bake like no one else sometimes. You can really comfort a person, and they're going to come to you. You're going to bring them in, Affirmation: I use my power to manifest deliberately and with clear intent. And so it is. I love that message for you. I hope you feel that as I say it, even though it's been a couple days. It's all good. And last but not least, I did pick your Super Attractor Manifestation card by Gabrielle Bernstein, and you got, I let the universe catch up with my dreams. And I will reiterate this again to you. I love this for Cancer because I have been told, and I understand, that water signs in particular, but Cancer, being ruled by the moon, has a lot of information that gets downloaded in their dreams. And they can absolutely have prophetic and, psychic dreams that lead them to the answers they need, to the connections they need, to the relationships. And it's never ending. So I thought that was so beautiful for you. And once again, I just want to thank you for being patient. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it was worth the wait. And, stay tuned again, because I'll keep them coming. And until next time, take wonderful care of yourselves. I love you. Bye for now.